In October 2004, an unexpected fluctuation in the electromagnetic field around High Beach caused a small explosion in a nearby electricity substation. At the same time, 5 independent witnesses reported an event taking place in the forest that can only be described as supernatural. If indeed it did take place. Eyewitness reports of events of this kind are notoriously unreliable.
I was raised a Christian, and I was always told there are no such things as ghosts and goblins. And yet the Bible is full of such weird and wonderful things, isn't it?
I'm not a crackpot or nothing. I mean, I'm right down to earth, me. I'm not going to make something like this up just to be on television, because, you know, I'm already a star.
The entire universe is composed of energy, of spirit. As human beings, we see only a tiny fraction of what there is.
The paranatural is merely that which exists outside the bounds of our limited experience.
As an author of children's books, I do tend to spend quite a lot of time in fairyland. But I think I can still tell the difference between reality and fantasy.
I've always been a believer. I mean, how can you not, given that there are 100 billion stars in the galaxy? How can you not believe in life on other planets?
Actually, the number of stars in the galaxy are closer to 100 billion and 1.
Oh, I was just out jogging with my mind array. I like to shut myself off from the world, headphones on, and just go for it.
And there was Grumpus far below. The troll was shaking his fists and stamping his feet. I just needed a break. Publishing deadlines can be murder, but the world must have the next installment of Tilly and Tom's Adventures in Teapot Land.
I work for a local firm of actuaries, which can be quite stressful. The forest is only a few minutes walk from my office, and it's a very good place to practice yoga. Very tranquil.
Normally I'd be out walking Dill, my dog, but that week he'd been struck down with a mystery illness. So you could say I was walking the dog without the dog. Only that'd be silly.
It's just a case of being in the right place at the right time. I guess it was just meant to happen. Fated to be. Actually, I was on my way to my mum's.
I'd given him some prawns as a treat, and I don't think they agreed with him.
Suddenly, my iPod cut out. When I took the headphones off, it was completely silent. Even the birds had stopped singing. Ray! Ray! Ray had disappeared off into thin air. I thought, where's he buggered off to? And then I realised there was no one about, and I was completely alone.
Electrical apparatus cutting out is a common feature of eyewitness accounts of UFO phenomena.
I was aware of something slightly out of the ordinary, yes. Perhaps a subtle change in the balance of energies?
It had gone very quiet, almost eerily so. And when I looked up, everything was shrouded in a sort of silvery mist.
What was really strange is that all my hair was standing on end. Like when you rub your shoes on the carpet.
This unusual state, accompanying a paranormal visitation, is known to ufologists as the Oz factor. Witnesses note that birds and insects fall silent. There is a strange, misty quality to the light. Time seems to stand still.
It was as though time had stood still. Not even the leaves in the trees were stirring. Silence was sepulchral. But then, there was a noise.
A most melodious twang.
Of course, the music of the harp is often associated with fairies and angels, but perhaps this is something a little more prosaic. The snapping of the mind, stretched a little too far, perhaps.
I suddenly had the feeling I was being watched.
The sensation that I was not alone.
There was somebody, or something, in front of the beech tree where nothing had been a moment before.
The creature was 6 foot tall, female, and resembled a blue frog. She smelled of cinnamon.
It was about the size of a small child, but its face was as pleasant as a walnut.
Undoubtedly an angel, dressed in a tight silver jumpsuit. He had long golden hair and wings that were, well, they were made out of light.
I kid you not, it was a gnome. Not a cute little thing like the ones that appear in my books. No, a real live gnome, all sinews and leathery skin and limbs like twisted tree roots. It came out from behind the beech tree in a small red and white bubble car, and it drove around me 3 times, and it was laughing at me, actually laughing at me, a hideous little laugh. And the next thing I knew, I was wandering aimlessly. 2 hours had passed and I hadn't even noticed.
I dabble in watercolours, so when I got home I did a painting of him. I was so taken aback, I didn't know what to say. But it seemed he could read my mind, because he smiled at me, and immediately I knew that Dill would be all right, but that I shouldn't feed him prawns anymore. Which I won't.
In many cultures, fairies are taken to be the spirits of venerated ancestors.
Now, my gran died about 5 years ago in India, and I never did get the chance to say goodbye properly. Well, I was on a shoot, wasn't I? Anyway, she left me this beautiful necklace, and then about 2 years ago, I put it down somewhere and I lost it. So this day, right, I suddenly get this funny feeling that I should go over to the tree, and as I go over, there's the necklace, the exact same necklace. And you know what? I think it was grand. I think it was a way of saying, it's okay. You know, we're missing the funeral.
I was practicing Vriksha Asana, the tree posture. I was astonished to see a blaze of light around every branch and leaf in the woods. I've never been able to see tree auras before. All of my chakras opened at once. I could feel the energy surging through me. There was this amazing feeling of connectedness between me and all of nature. Any sense of separateness disappeared. I remained in this reverie for some time, maintaining the tree posture throughout, until eventually I became aware of a warm feeling down by my feet. I looked down and saw a small dog peeing at my left leg.
For scientific purposes, I made a drawing of the entity. She communicated telepathically. She had come from another dimension in order to mate with one of our own species, in order to create a hybrid. I was chosen for this purpose because of my superior intellect. I was unable, however, to comply with their wishes, as I had a dinner appointment with my mother. Well, Mother had hinted that there might be Arctic roll.
Well, the experience has definitely changed me. I will never look at a cloud or a tree or a Yorkshire Terrier in the same way again.
It is possible that the beech grove may form the nexus of an area of high strangeness, a weak point in the barrier between dimensions.
Typically, I have been unable to interest the British press in either my story or the drawing.
On the other hand, it may be nothing more than a mass delusion. a morsel of undigested beef. An hallucination brought on by the profound desire to avoid the humdrum reality of everyday life.
I was never a risk taker before. But now, just knowing I've got a guardian angel watching over me, protecting me, I feel completely free to do whatever I want, because I know he'll be there to save me. Just watch me. Silly. So silly.
I do feel as though I've become a better person. A more spiritual person. I mean, I must be someone pretty special to have had an experience like this, mustn't I?
I haven't been able to write a word since. I keep seeing him, out of the corner of my eye. But when I turn round, he's gone. And that laugh, that hideous laugh, I dream about it and I wake up screaming. But it doesn't matter anymore, because soon I shall be leaving this plane of existence. They're coming for me, to take me away, to the pink dimension.
But who is to say where reality ends and fantasy begins? After all, our reality is nothing more than electrical activity in the brain. And if our consciousness produces our material world, then are we not all living in an hallucination? Have you seen this? I call it my epiphany lamp. Behold, enlightenment, illumination.
There will be those who do not believe me. But to them, I say,